And before we follow on to our Creative Mornings manifesto, I would love to share something with you, because today we're going to have a talk about diversity in terms of activities and hobbies and tasks you can do in your daily life. And I do believe that in order to be creative, in order to have a creative output, you have to have a creative input too. So I do believe in books and magazines and TV shows, things that inspire you. So I would love to share something that, maybe some books that can actually put you in the right frame of mind for maybe the next months to come. And they actually will align perfectly with what Luisa has to say today. So I'm a big fan of this little man. So this is Austin Kleon. Austin lives in Austin, so there's no way you can make this stuff up. So he's from Texas. So Austin Kleon created 3 books on creative life. This is actually one in Portuguese. It's Still Like an Artist. I hope you know. Show your work in order to fight off your fear of showing up and showing what you've been doing. And this is the last book, is Keep Going. This is amazing. It actually compares creative life to Groundhog Day. You should actually read his metaphor for that. I think we all can relate. So I love Austin Kleon, my favorite person in the world for creative things. I also love Emma Gannon. And Emma Gannon, she did a book called The Multi-Hyphen Method. She's British, and she has an amazing podcast called Control Alt Delete, where she interviews weekly, Luisa, right? Where she interviews weekly big people from creativity, entrepreneurship, and artists. So this week she interviewed Seth Godin. We all know Seth Godin, right? He's been writing a blog on marketing for maybe almost 20 years, and he writes every single day for 19 years, something like that. So yeah, Emma Gannon, she's amazing. She wrote this book, and sorry, my cat just go away. So Sabotage is her new book, is also about strategies to fight sabotage in our creative lives. And she also has this book, Olive. This is actually fiction, but I think it's really interesting. I also have, let me see what I have here on my table. This is actually an interesting book. So if you're interested in doing something different in terms of career, don't get a job, make a job. This is actually really cool. I bought it at Under the Cover, that magazine place in Lisbon, everyone loves. This is something that I got for my birthday a few days ago. I know, Barack Obama, I think, is inspiring for everyone. And I'm just going to skip to the Michelle Obama parts, but it's a really big book. So I think this is inspiring for everyone too. I also have some magazines that you might like. So Happy Reader. This is Sarah Jessica Parker. And this is a literary magazine. I think it's really cool. And please share with us stuff that you've been reading too. Let me see. Oh, and this is like my favorite thing today. Interview. This is a really big magazine, as you can see. Interview was founded by Andy Warhol in '69. And it has only interviews with artists, creative people, and some celebrities too. And, I'm a big fan of this guy, Nicolas Cage. I think he's one of the most underrated actors. And every time he makes a good movie, which happens more or less every 5 years, I always think, oh God, I still got it. So yeah, let's keep pushing through. So yes, let's read our virtual manifesto. And I would love to invite someone to volunteer themselves to read our manifesto. So do we have any volunteers? It's a very short thing, so you can raise your hand, okay? There's a raise hand feature. No?
It's easy, guys. I did it once. I was very nervous, but it's very easy.
Do we have people?
I can do it.
Okay. Hi.
Hi, hello.
Hello. Hi. I cannot see you. Who are you?
No?
I can't see your face. I'm sorry.
Claudia.
It's Claudia.
Claudia. Okay. Hi, Claudia. Welcome. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm just going to press the next slides and you can read, each sentence that comes up, okay? You can start now.
And Claudia, I think it actually put you back on mute. I think you're on mute again.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm here.
Awesome, you're here.
I'm actually the Creative Mornings Oslo host, and I'm Portuguese, so I'm really excited to be here with you today.
Amazing.
I don't
Thank you
think
so much. Thank you for
okay, let's do that.
Okay.
Okay, everyone is creative. A creative life requires bravery and action, honesty and hard work. We are here to support you, celebrate with you, and encourage you to make the things you love. We believe in the power of community. We believe in giving a damn. We believe in face-to-face connections, in learning from others, in jazz hands, virtual claps, and virtual snaps. We bring together people who are driven by passion and purpose, confident that they will inspire one another and inspire change in neighborhoods and cities around the world. Everyone is welcome.
That's it.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Yay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Claudia. I hope you enjoy our session today, and I hope to see you in our next events too. So before we start, I just wanted to do a shout out to everyone out there. Share with us on social media your mug selfies. Tag us on Creative Mornings Lisbon on our Instagram. Share your cats with us. Share your favorite reads with us. What has inspired you over the last few weeks. And let's hear our speaker of the month to talk about Radical, because Radical is our month theme today. And I do believe that Luisa has a very radical approach to life and freelancing and creativity. And we all can learn a thing or two about that. Okay, so Ana Luisa, multi-hyphenate artist. So the stage is yours, my friend.
Hi. Okay, bear with me just while I share my screen as well. Give me just a second. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all good?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I have to tell you, I'm really, really nervous right now. I can feel my heart beating really, really strongly. So hopefully it will get better. My name is Ana Luisa. I am from Lisbon, but I currently live in London. I'm going to be talking about multipotentiality, or as Rafaela said, multi-hyphenate. I actually didn't know that that name because I've always known multipotentiality, but we'll explain you what it is. So just for today, these are the things we're going to talk about. And the truth is, I can't talk about my experiences without explaining multipotentiality and who Emily Wapnick is, because she changed my life. We're gonna do a quick run through about jobs that I've had and that I do at the moment. Then we're gonna talk about my life's pillars to stay afloat, what I do to stay positive and inspired, my defense mechanisms to just shoo away the bad things, how I stay positive and inspired, and then we're gonna try and answer the question of is multipotentiality the key for happiness? So please, if you have any questions, there's no dumb questions whatsoever. So just save them, and hopefully I think we're going to do a Q&A at the end, correct? So let me just start by explaining you that throughout my life, ever since I finished uni, I've had several jobs. And one thing that I noticed as I was jumping from a job to another was that I would jump into this job, I would learn everything there was to learn about it. I would become really good at it. And then suddenly there would be a day where I would just wake up and go like, I'm not happy at this job anymore, and I want to quit and do something else. So I would just quit that job, even though I had just specialized in it. And I would just start something completely different. I would jump into it with my blood, sweat, and tears, do everything I could about it. And when I felt like I was really good at it and where I was like at the top of my skills at it, I would just go, I don't like this anymore. I want to do something else. And so I would just leave it all behind and just start something new. And that brought a lot of attention from my friends and my family. And of course, it all comes out of love. But they would tell me, why do you always go for something different? Why don't you specialize? Why do you just go through all these radical changes and just reinvent yourself all the time? One day there will be a time where you'll just have to specialize and choose something and do something and stick with it. And for a few years, this was in the back of my mind, just going, okay, I need to specialize. This is what I need to do. And then I would just feel miserable at that job. And that would affect my self-worth. I would feel like I was not good enough. And people would always say, you have so much potential, Ana Luisa, you have so much potential. You can do anything you want. And then I would just jump to another job and I would just go like, there's something wrong with me. Maybe I'm broken or something. I don't understand. Until one fine day, I was just going through TED Talks and I discovered Emily Wapnick, and I discovered her talk called Why Some of Us Don't Have One True Calling. So this absolutely changed my mind and just blew my mind and changed my life. The concept of multipotentiality. So multipotentialite is someone with many interests and creative pursuits, and creative endeavors, and it's someone who just manages to live all of them at the same time. And with her, I found out that I was actually not broken and that there are so many people just like us. She also has a book called How to Be Everything, a guide for those who still don't know what they want to be when they grow up. And do watch her TED Talk. Go to her website. It's quite amazing. And the concept of multipotentiality, I found out that this thing of, jumping into a job, learning everything about it, and then leaving it behind and starting something new was something just very recurrent with every multipotentialite there is in the world. The challenges that we find is that when we have just one job, we can't really find the variety and the stability that we need to feel fulfilled. So we're doing this one job, but there are so many other passions we need to pursue that if I just dedicate myself 100% to this, I'll be really miserable here and there and there and there. Then there are also the challenges with mental health and confidence, such as imposter syndrome, which I am like, I feel imposter syndrome every day and all the time, and I fight it back, but and then also answering the question, so what do you do? And I'm like, how long do you have? And then also, of course, dealing with friends and family who don't understand it. Because I can imagine, as parents, for example, just it must be so, nerve-wracking when you just see, your child jumping from job to job. And I had really good jobs in the past. My first job ever was at an international relations office. And then I was a journalist and I actually presented the news at 10 o'clock for 3 years. And I'm just like jumping out of these jobs. And I can't imagine like the stress that must give, parents and everything, but it just is what it is. But when multipotentialite is encouraged to live fully as a multipotentialite these are the superpowers. You get good idea synthesis, rapid learning, adaptability, big picture thinking. You learn how to walk in different worlds and different languages with different people, with different cultures. And that ultimately makes you become a great asset to any company and any job that you actually have. So on the next slide, let me warn you, if you're wearing headphones, I made a little video and I think the sound is too loud. So this is just a little heads up because I don't want to blow your ears out. So who I am work-wise and what I've done. Let's see if it plays. So as a fundamental thing that Emily Wapnick says about multipotentiality is that even though from the outside it looks like we're just doing like quick, like huge radical changes and starting everything from scratch, the truth is you're never really starting anything from scratch, because you are still the same person, you are still the same human, but the skills that you have and the skills that you've learned at one job are absolutely transferable to another. And then the skills that you gain at that new job are transferable to another. So if you've had several jobs, many different jobs and many different fields, the thing is you have so many skills that just make it so that you have all of these, you know, the idea synthesis, the rapid learning, the adaptability, and that just makes you a huge asset for really any company. So being a multi-potentialite, it not only means that you're not scared of trying something new, but also as you're jumping into something, you just have to have the mindset, you know, I'm not starting something from scratch. I bring such a huge background and I bring so much learning from my past experiences that let's just try it and see what we can do. So talking about all these jobs that you just saw, when I finally sat down and decided, okay, so I found out that I'm a multi-potentialite. So what do I love? What are my true loves? What are the things that I need to satisfy in order to fulfill my life, in order to know that I'll always be happy in whatever job that I'm doing? And I found out that my true loves are traveling and creativity, which also involves art. So traveling and creativity. And the fact is that with all of those jobs, and these are not even all the jobs I've done, but with all of these jobs, they're actually absolutely related. So, oh, and when I mean traveling, I mean, you know, traveling geographically, but also, you know, and meeting people, cultures, languages. So no wonder that all of these jobs fulfilled my true loves. What photography and video allows me to travel, to meet people, and to create art. When I shoot their weddings, when I shoot their events, I am fulfilling both of my loves. When I am doing content creating, for example, the blog that I had for so many years, which I think it's how a lot of you have known me. I had Dos Promo Dos for a while. We'll talk about it later. That blog led me to meet so many people, collaborate so much in creative projects, to travel. When I was a journalist, again, I was traveling, I was telling stories, I was meeting people. When I became a tour guide for Lisbon, for We Hate Tourism Tours, I became a tour guide so that I could support the fact that I was just starting my photography video and my photography and video business. So I wasn't really traveling outside of Lisbon, but I was allowing other people to enjoy traveling in Lisbon through me. I was meeting people, I was making bonds, which allowed me to eventually also create art, because some of the people I took around Lisbon actually ended up hiring me to shoot their weddings in Chicago and San Francisco. Or when I was in America, they would go like, oh, are you coming through DC? Come to our house, stay with us. So in many ways, they were fulfilling my true loves. I also became a teacher while I was supporting my business in photography and video. And nowadays I am, during the first quarantine, during the first lockdown, I studied to be an English teacher. And I realized that one thing that came really easily with me was my good rapport with my students. And that comes with the experience that I've had for being a teacher in Portugal. The fact that I've shot so many weddings and I've dealt with so many different personalities with my clients. The fact that as a tour guide, I spoke with people from all over the world, and the people that I was actually teaching in my English school were from all over the world. So I already had this background in culture, and I already had this background on, you know, understanding what they say and try and make myself clear, everything else. Nowadays, I am a restaurant manager, because being a wedding photographer in London, as you know, with coronavirus, the wedding industry was highly affected. So I had about 20 weddings this year, and I only shot 2. And after the first lockdown, I was like, what am I going to do with my life? And this job just appeared. I'll talk about it in a little bit. And the fact is, going into being a restaurant manager, it might sound like, oh my God, this is so different from everything that I've done. But actually, isn't it about people? Isn't it about, putting my creativity on the job? Also, the restaurant that I manage, it's a Gambian, so African Gambian cuisine inspired. So I travel every day with, the culture, the food, the smells, the flavors. So I'm still, fulfilling my loves. And they all bring this variety to my life that I needed. So let me move on with this slide. Here are some of my life's pillars to stay afloat and fulfill my loves. Number one, surrounding yourself with other multipods. So other multipods are people who, are like you, basically. I call us the crazy ones like us. So other multipods will inspire you too. They also understand the struggle that it is to be a multipod, the ones that I told you about, imposter syndrome, explaining your families, everything, but they also understand the magic. Also, they can get you in contact with other like-minded people, which can generate exciting adventures. And you just get this sense of being at home. A good way to find other multipods, it's, for example, through CreativeMornings. A good way to find multipods, it's, for example, for you to join your local co-working space, which is, for example, how I met Rafael and how I met so many other creatives that I ended up working with throughout my life. Number two, saying yes to new adventures more instead of just saying no. So, for example, with the restaurant that I am working on at the moment, when I moved to London and relaunched my photography business as a side gig. Not a lot of people know this, but I got in touch with an agency that would put me working as a waitress wherever I was needed in London. So for the past 4 years, I've been growing my photography business, but I've also been doing a side gig as a waitress. I wasn't really afraid of it. I was just like, okay, it's another job. You're going to deal with people. You're going to meet so many people from all over, and you're going to gain experience. And you're going to actually scout venues in London that you can tell your brides and grooms about. Oh, I just worked at this venue. The kitchen actually works really well. They're really good at weddings. So you're always winning. So I've been working as a waitress for 4 years in London alongside my photography business. And right after lockdown, the agency said, well, we don't have events yet. But we do have this private party. It's a birthday. They hired a chef, and they need 3 waiters to go and run the place. Do you want to go? And I was like, yeah, sure. I need to make more money. Let's do it. So when I got there, I knew I had to leave by 5 o'clock. So as I got there, I just went like, right, let's organize this. No one's working. You do this, you do that. Boom, 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 boom. I'll set the table. I'll wait the tables. I'll clean this and I'll take that and coordinate with the chef, everything. By 5 o'clock, I was done. The job was done. The kitchen was clean. I was on my way home. 2 days later, the chef called me and he was like, hi, I'm opening a restaurant. I'm opening my own project in London. And I was wondering if you'd like to work for me. And I was like, yeah, of course, I'll work for you. Like my wedding business just went to shambles this year. Of course, let's do it. When he sent me the job description through the email, it said general manager. And I thought he wanted me as a waitress. That's what I have experience on. And I was like, are you sure you want me as your general manager? Because I only have experience as a waitress. And he said, what I saw you do that day during the birthday, that's exactly what I need you to do at my restaurant. What you don't know how to do, I can teach you. Do you want to do it or not? And I was just like, okay, hell yeah, let's do it. Because I knew that I wasn't starting from scratch. I bring all of this background of people, creativity, having been a waitress. Because I run my own business, I can run someone else's business. So it just felt like a new, exciting opportunity. And so because I said yes, now I have met all of these amazing, new, interesting people who work at the restaurant or who have come to the restaurant, who have actually also hired me to do photography for them. So it's all connected. Number 3, searching for inspiration, blogs and podcasts. I can share with you the podcasts and blogs that I like. A good way for me to unleash creativity and inspiration, it's through The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. So it's a book just to unblock you if you're like feeling blocked in your creativity, and it has a few tasks for you to do during 3 months. One of the things is journaling every morning, which I found out that it's really, really productive for your mind, for your well-being, for your sanity, as self-care. And you also have the artist dates. And the artist dates are once a week, you take yourself and the artist in you. You have to go on your own and you have to go and see something artistic. Go to an art exhibit, go to a concert, go hear poetry, and you have to do it once a week and on your own. And I'm telling you, this has done wonders for me. But as I have pillars on how to stay afloat, I also need to make rules to keep them running. One of them is creating a safe environment, surrounding yourself with people who you trust in, people who know you and who know how you are and that won't judge you, who won't say you need to specialize. Or Ana Luisa, oh my God, she was a journalist introducing the 10 o'clock news in Portugal. She has a photography business and now she is a waitress. There's no shame in that. It has allowed me to meet people from all over the world. It allowed me to gain the experience that now allows me to be at my current job. It allows me to scout for venues for my couples. So just surround yourself with people you know you're safe with. Number 2, trust your gut feelings. If a new adventure doesn't go with your values and is not going to fulfill your true loves, don't do it. Trust your gut feeling. Okay. So, and that means self-care as well. And learning to say no, it's a good thing. Number 3, identify your shadow artists. So this is a concept that I learned again with The Artist's Way from Julia Cameron. Shadow artists are those who are drawn to other artists, but are blocked artists themselves and caught between the dream of action and the fear or failure. So we probably have a lot of friends who are artists but feeling blocked themselves, and you kind of just feel like they cling on to you. So even though it's good to help and to try and unleash their creativity, you also have to do a lot of self-care when you work in a creative environment, because that can block your path. And that can also impact you in what comes to shame and guilt, because you feel, you feel like you can't celebrate your victories with that person because that person is not having a good day. So it's good to identify your shadow artists and know who your circle of trust is. Number 4, creating boundaries. We've all heard of toxic people, energy vampires, but let me tell you one thing about this. If you feel like someone is sucking your energy, it's not on them. It's actually on you and the boundaries that you put up. Because if they're sucking your energy, you are letting them suck your energy. So it's really good to, create these boundaries and just protect yourself. Help, of course, don't be a dick, but just making these boundaries will also keep your sanity. One of the things that I've implemented is, for example, I will not take any work phone calls after 7 o'clock. My phone goes on do not disturb, and only a few people are starred in my phone and can go through for me to talk to them. My friends, my closest friends, and my family. So that's one of the boundaries that I have implemented. We're almost done on how I stay positive and inspired. For example, I like to keep an ongoing project always happening. So during quarantine, so I did lockdown on my own here in London. I had actually recently just gotten divorced. So to me, it was just like a now you are alone in a 1-bedroom flat with your cats. And this is how it is to be completely alone and isolated. So it was good in a way for me to finally face my feelings, but also I just learned so much from that experience. So keeping an ongoing creative project, I actually started making photography books like these ones that I'm showing you here, where as a photographer, I started just observing how the light hits my flat. What are the routines that my cats have? And I started taking photos of that as a form of documenting how my lockdown was in 2020. So I made 3 books, and when I go through them, I can actually see how much I changed and what I learned as a human being. And I have book number 4 coming out now. Another thing I've been doing as an ongoing creative project is I am interviewing for a future project called 100 Londoners You Need to Meet. And I've been interviewing other multipods in London. The other day, I just interviewed Abigail, who is a librarian and cake designer. And talk about multipotentiality, right? Listening to other multipods on podcasts, etc. Read books that inspire you and learn something new every day. Like, for example, for you today, maybe you were also feeling lost on your jobs and now you know, oh my God, I am a multipotentialite. So maybe you just learned that today. And answering the question on, is multipotentiality the key for success? The thing is, I don't know the answer, but I do know what it does for me and how it works for me. Number one, it makes your options wide. You'll always find ways to stay afloat, make money, keep finding projects you can jump into. Number two, it offers you so many perspectives on life, work, creativity, and people. Number three, it broadens your universe and then what it brings to you as well. And number four, it fulfills all your passions, which in return will make you a more happy and complete person. And that's it. I hope it helped. Hello, someone? No?
We're here. That was amazing. So good. Sorry, Rafa, I'll let you go. I don't know if you were on mute. You are on mute.
Hey girls,
Okay.
sorry, I was checking our chat. There's been a great discussion here. I'm going to save it all and send it to you, and I'm going to
Good stuff, I hope.
Yeah, of course. Really proud of this community because people are sharing what they've been doing to keep creativity high in their lives. So this is amazing.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, thank you, Iris. Thank you, Alexandra. Thank you, Tanya Teixeira. I've been checking you out, so this is amazing. And so I hope you enjoyed it. We'll open 10 minutes for Q&A. So come on, guys.
How long did I last? Was it too long?
No, it was amazing. Actually, you could have gone a little longer.
Really?
Maybe
this is your fault, because yesterday when I spoke to Rafaela, I was like, I'm a little bit over half an hour. And she was like, you only have 20 minutes. And I was like, what?
It was fun. I saw your panic face and it was real fun. So guys, come on. If you have any questions or...
Oh, I'm now looking at your faces. I know so many of you. Hi.
You have a question, Claudia. You have a question, you can speak. Okay, so unmute yourself and you can speak or you can write on the chat. So you have two options.
Yes. Hi. I first of all, thank you so much. I love the talk, and I've actually been following you, Luisa, since forever. I think the first time I saw you was when you were at the working space at Elshi's factory.
Yeah.
And since then, I've been following your journey and your trip to London. Your trip to London and everything. And it's really inspiring for me because I really connect with this feeling. I was also the same as you. And then I watched that TED Talk and I was like, oh my God, this is possible. And I've been following Emily as well since forever. And I wanted to ask you, like, because this is a feeling that I have every time that I jump into a new thing. You have to start, of course, you don't start from scratch, as you said, because you have all this background, but it's a new field. And if you have any tips of have you learned how to learn new things faster and how is your learning process of a new endeavor that you go through, and what have you learned from this?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, I always feel really excited when I start a new job. I always feel really, really excited. And if you're a little bit afraid as well, there's nothing wrong with that, because that actually means, you're awake, you're like, you're in tune, and you want to do really good. So what I normally do is I write a lot of questions, like the day before, everything that comes to my mind that I can ask the person at the job that I'm about to start, I'll just ask. And often they've said, oh, it was really interesting that you came to talk to us and you brought so many questions about the job. It really showed that you are interested in it. So I always make a huge list of questions, and then I'm just a sponge. I'm just absorbing everything that I can on the job. And then I have three things that for me are really, really important: integrity, honesty, and kindness. If you have these three, you'll always do good in any job. If you have integrity, you'll be, you know, a good person. You have good values. If you have honesty, you know, just say, I've never done this job. Like I said to now my boss at the restaurant, I was like, want me to be a general manager? I've never done that before. I have so much to learn. I'm willing to learn, but I don't know so many things. And he said, I'll teach you. It's fine. Whatever you don't know, just let me know. You know, and then kindness, just be kind to everyone that you find on the job, not just the ones who are above you, but the ones whose jobs are like, I don't like saying below, but like in the chain. Do you understand? So if you're kind to everyone, everyone will help you do really good at the job. And there it goes. If you go with your gut feeling, jumping into a job, I mean, you'll just be excited about it every day, at least until it just, then you're really good at it, and then you're like, I learned all that I wanted from this. It was really good though.
That's great. And if I'm allowed a follow-up question, yeah, I think it's really important, but you just mentioned values. So it's really important to have that sense of like, know your values.
Yeah.
Did you do any exercise, or how did you, because I see there's a lot of like quizzes to know what your values are and to come up with your values and things that are important to you, because I think most people don't really sit down and like, what are my values?
I think they are really important, and it's really important for you to understand what your values are, especially when you are at a situation where you are at a crossroads and you don't know what to do. When you have your values really well defined, you can just go back to them and think for every situation. For me, integrity, honesty, and kindness. I go like, does this have integrity? Am I doing things ethically and as, you know, a good person would do? Am I being honest in this situation? And am I being kind? The way I found my values was actually with my best friend Lily. We always have huge, you know, spiritual talks, and we define these values, and I've been living with them since ever. I never did a quiz, but please, if someone has a link for them, please put them down there, because it's so important. I read a book this year during quarantine that also changed my life, called A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. And it is a book on you understanding how humans work, how humans are, okay? That no one is just 100% good, 100% bad, that the average human being is somewhere in the middle. And you can be good-hearted, but at a certain moment in your life, you can be bad-headed. And that doesn't mean that that is a bad person. It just means that person acted in a certain way. And it just makes you understand all your feelings of frustration, guilt, shame. And it's such a beautiful exercise. And if you can read it all the way through without crying, I'll give you an award.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Thank you for the talk, and thank you, Creative Mornings Lisbon, for a great event. See ya.
Thank you so much, Claudia.
Claudia.
That was amazing. Tanya, I'm seeing that you're there and with us. Do you want to pose your next question? Because you had a lot of people echoing what you're asking. Tanya Teixeira. Yeah, I'll let you ask it yourself, please.
Hi, good morning, Luisa. Good morning.
Hello, Tanya.
My question is related because I start a lot of things. I start a short story blog. I'm making lights from bottles. I'm making bottles with paper pasta. I don't know if the right name in Portuguese is like a pasta from paper. I don't know in English.
Paper mache.
Yeah, so I'm doing all the time all of these things, and I don't realize that I'm getting exhausting until I get there. My question is how you manage all things that you want to do and you are dreaming about, and don't get so much tired with all of the things and confuse it, because sometimes in my day, at the morning, I'm thinking about one project, and at the lunchtime, I'm thinking about my job, and at the afternoon, I'm thinking about the other. And I realized that, oh, I'm exhausting.
Yeah. I think that you're maybe overwhelming yourself with thoughts in your head and all the things that you want to do at the same time. So maybe one good thing you could do is just, getting organized. I am a huge fan of making lists and to-do lists. It just keeps me organized and on track. And again, journaling every morning is just, it's so good, because when you wake up in the morning, this is me waking up in the morning. I wake up and then a few seconds later, like all of my thoughts just come like this, boom,
Exactly.
to my head. That's how I am in the morning. And for years it created a lot of anxiety. I just knew that as soon as I opened my eyes, a few seconds later, I would be just overflowed with anxiety. So actually doing The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, I learned how to journal, and I've done it twice. I try and do it once a year now since I've started. I have the friend who told me about The Artist's Way has been doing it once a year for 10 years straight now. And it taught me to journal. So I have the journal next to my bed. I sit down, I grab a pencil or a pen, and all the thoughts that I have in my head, I just put there. You have to do every morning 3 A4 pages. And it's nothing. You do 3 A4 pages in 20 minutes. So there, you don't put anything that makes really good sense. You don't create a really good text. You just go, like, you put everything there. What you're feeling. I need to do laundry today. Need to call this person. It can be your to-do list for the day. But what I get is, after I've done those 3 pages, all of those thoughts that were just overwhelming me, now I know what they are, because as you're writing them, another one will come up and you'll write it. And then another one will come up and then you'll write it. So for me, when I finish those 3 pages, I just go, okay. The day can start now. And you're a little bit more organized that way. So to me, it really helps to journal in the mornings. And sometimes if I wake up and I have to go to work straight away, I just take it on the bus. Like, I get ready, because sometimes you just want to stay in bed a little longer, right? Sometimes you just want to. So I write on the bus. So sometimes I'm writing and it just goes whoop with the pencil. But I try and make sure that I write it every day and just put those thoughts into paper. To me, it really helps. And I hope it will help you too.
I'm also a list person, so that's for sure it will help. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tanya, and thank you, Luisa, for the answer. Another question for you, Luisa, from Alexandra, who speaks about deciding about leaving a full-time job and working on a project basis, and would love to just tell, if you could explore this idea about money a little bit. You say you'll always find ways to find money. Is this really true? Does it really happen?
Well, to me, I will have to say that it has happened to me. Now, the thing is, and on my blog with Dos Promo Dos, I would always talk about my experiences, but I would always encourage people to not just quit your day job and suddenly start something new. If you want to start something new, maybe start it doing the project. If you have a 9 to 5, start your new project at night. Try and see if it has, a future to happen, and then maybe go part-time. And then once you feel like you can do it, just then go full-time. In my case, when I quit my jobs, I was ill at the time, and I was feeling like, okay, I really need to do a radical change in my life. So being ill and feeling like, ooh, I could die tomorrow, it just made me jump that way. So it's sad that you have to get to that point to suddenly make a big change in your life. But hi, Giselle. Oh, the cat just fell. Sorry, Giselle. But in my case, when I decided to build my photography business, and I thought, okay, I need to make money to support myself during the time it takes to make my photography business to go on, I joined Cowork Lisboa. That's where I met Rafaela. I joined Cowork Lisboa. I actually didn't have money to afford a table at the time, but Fernando Mendes and Ana were so kind to me. They were like, we trust you, we believe you, we know you can do stuff, so you join us, sit at the desk, and you'll start paying us when you can. So that was a huge help for me, and I'll always see them as my parents in Lisbon, because they are such great people. And so working at the co-working space, during the mornings I was developing my photography business, but at the same time I got the job job as a tour guide for We Hate Tourism Tours that was at the same building as the co-working space. So I started being a tour guide. And at the same time, a friend of mine asked me, because I did media studies for uni, if I'd be a communications teacher for high school kids. So I had 2 jobs working at the same time as I was building my photography business. So money was still flowing. I was paying rent, I was paying bills. And I think at that time of my life, I never felt more fulfilled than when I was starting my photography job, because all the jobs I had during that time, like teaching 2 or 3 times a week, but then in the mornings doing my photography job, and then in the afternoons just walking people throughout Lisbon. And it was fulfilling all my true loves, the creativity and the travel, and my passion for just, being a wanderer. So I think that if you have a really, really big passion, you can find a way to make money with it. Sorry, Rafael, you want to say something?
No, I just wanted to chip in with something, because you mentioned kindness, through all your talk, and I think kindness and generosity, they're one of the main values of this community, Creative Mornings. We all are giving our time to make this happen every month. And you mentioned Fernando Mendes, and I always talk about him because he's the owner of Now Beato right now. And we had our first events of the year in January and February. We had the events, in-person events there. And Fernando Mendes, he used to be the owner of LX Factory's co-work, and he's actually one of the most generous people I've met in Lisbon, and he's a professor at IAD.
He is a multipotentialite. He is
because he's a photographer.
Photographer. He is a multipotentialite.
He is, and he's like 55 years old, so he's not like a youngster who doesn't know what to do with his living or with his life. So he's done a big career in terms of in several areas, and it's really important for all of us to recognize everyone who has helped us in the way. And so
absolutely,
Ana Luisa, because you're doing that, and I think it's beautiful.
No, absolutely. Fernando Mendes had a huge part of, I'm just so grateful to him, and the fact that he let me be in Co-work Lisboa. Being at Co-work Lisboa, I was surrounded by so many other that I now know are multipotentialites, people who were teachers, but then were graphic designers, but then at night they were presenters of something, and just the way they made their lives. For me, it was my first experience as a freelancer, and the room is full of freelancers, a lot of them very experienced. So the amount of skills that I gained just from working from there, they helped me with bully clients. When you start getting your first emails from bully clients and you're just starting your business, and you have this client going like, but you're just starting, why don't you do it for free? This would be great for your portfolio. Other co-workers, they would just go like, give me your computer, let me teach you how to answer that. Dear sir, good morning. Like the skills that I've learned just from working at a co-working space with other multipotentialites, I think that was the biggest, growth experience I've ever had.
Thank you so much, Luisa. So we have a final question. I think it's a moment actually for a bit of a cheerleading moment. So Eva wants to say something, I guess. Eva, do you want to be on camera?
Hello, good morning. Hi. I just want to say that every time that I have to make a decision, I call Ana. And I think how Ana would do that. She's an inspiration to me since forever. Since I met her, we met when we did a short film together.
Film producer at the time.
Yes.
She was a film producer.
As you see, she was a film producer. As you can see, she have the whole package. She writes, she produces, she films everything. So when I first met Ana, I thought, whoa, she's bossy because she knows how to do it. She take care of the situation, And I thought, whoa, she's a little bit bossy, but I want to be just like her, I was just, I don't know, the team, the crew of all new people, but Ana is from Faro as well as I am. We didn't meet each other before that, but in a certain way we stayed connected. And Ana was the photographer of my wedding, and one of my biggest projects, that was my pregnancy photo shoot. During 9 months, we did one Disney princess per month, and I just saw the pictures in the end of the pregnancy, so I totally trust Anna's choices, because I really enjoy her work as a photographer, as a dreamer. Ana is a dreamer, and I'm a dreamer too. And I always call or send a message to Ana. I have something to tell you. I need your opinion. And this year, 2020, was a very transforming year for me, because I accepted that I needed in a cafe, in a shopping, Colombo here in Lisbon, with Ana, and she was one of the first person that I talk about what I was going to do. And she said, let's go, then send me the things, I want to see this. And when Ana says, do it, oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, because she feels things. She knows, and that's what I want to say, is that Ana is a very inspirational person, and I relate. She's very relatable, because if you love something, Ana will take all the good of you. So.
Thank you so much, Eva. Such a heartwarming.
And sorry, my English. I'm trying to improve it, but I'm a little bit nervous.
You'll join my English Academy.
Oh yes. Next step. Now having English classes with Ana. Next step. What's gonna be next? I don't know. We will see.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, girls. So thank you so much for being here. Luisa, thank you for joining us and for sharing all your pearls of wisdom with us. I think this was a great talk. If you guys want, the slides, just shoot us and we'll send it to you if Ana allows it. And yes, you do, right? Okay. So I hope you'll have a great day. And I just want to ask you to just clap your hands to Ana, because this was so great.
Yay! And Ana, before we close the chat, do you want to put in your new website into the chat? People are wondering how they can find your English Academy as well. We have your blog up there. And
so Cynthia, who's here today, she is designing my website. Say hello, Cynthia. She's designing my website. So it is a coming soon page at the moment. Am I writing it well? It's not writing it. My hands are shaking.
Oh, the release of adrenaline.
Darling English Academy. So that.
Thank you so much.
So that will be my school. So Cynthia is helping me create a whole school from scratch. I thought I would get my diploma, my certification, and that I would start teaching classes straight away. But no, it's more complex than that. But Cynthia has been such a trooper helping me with everything. So thank you, babe.
Thank you so much. Have a great morning. And a shout out to all the dreamers and doers. And let's have fun, guys. Have a great weekend. Bye, Jush. Ciao.
Thank you so much.
Bye from Giselle.
Ciao, Giselle.